coming up on Bulldog Broadcast. Daniel sheds light on the struggles of borderline communities. Entertainment shows us how far civilization will go when we're on the brink of annihilation. Finally, Mia updates us on another week of student athletics. Today is December 9th, 2016, and Bulldog Broadcast starts now. Good morning, Bulldogs, and welcome to this semester's final edition of Bulldog Broadcast. I'm Naomi S.J.
And I'm Kyla Navarro. Our theme this week is Beyond Borders, and we're here at Fort Hancock, where the border of Mexico and Texas meet.
We have a transcending show ahead of us today, so let's get started.
In our country, there are semi-rural communities that lie near our border, unknown to the public.
These settlements are called colonias, and they lack basic necessities that most American homes have.
Daniel investigates how global warming will worsen life at the colonias.
90% of New Mexicans get their drinking water from the ground. It is a supply fed by a melting snowpack flowing down mountains and rivers and streams and filtering into the ground. But with rising temperatures, warmer and shorter snow seasons, less of that water is making it into the aquifer. To keep up with plummeting water levels, municipal and private wells are getting drilled deeper and deeper into the earth. This one in Las Cruces, New Mexico, is going down 160 feet. But this kind of water security can come with a $10,000 price tag. For people living in low-income, unincorporated communities nearby along the U.S.-Mexico border known as colonias, it is not a viable option. Many residents depend on shallow wells dug by hand.
People here, they know how to do it, so they do it by hand.
Maria Governali says when she finally struck water 25 feet below her home outside of San Elizario, Texas, she and her family couldn't even drink the water. They still used it to shower and do laundry until they realized it wasn't even good for them.
The clothes was like turning yellow.
And that's a minor problem compared to health concerns. A 2015 University of Texas Health Impact Study reported high concentrations of arsenic and nitrates in many colonias' water supplies. They also found higher than normal rates of waterborne diseases among residents, many reporting cases of diarrhea, dysentery, and skin lesions.
We used to take a shower with that water too, but the skin was with a lot of rashes. I even have, scars from that. That's what a doctor told me. Well, you're gonna have that all your life just because of the water. I said, oh my God.
Treatment and municipal water systems can deal with these impurities. Governali says a lot of residents bought land from developers with assurances it would eventually be piped into nearby water systems.
The developers take advantage of the people. After we start living on the land, we see the problems that we face.
A lot of people living in colonias have to haul in their water through tanks or buy water bottles. And some scientists are concerned climate change will leave more people without access to running water. William Hargrove is director of the Center for Environmental Resource Management at the University of Texas, El Paso.
Well, they're very vulnerable in terms of climate change. During very hot and dry times, maybe the water table drops. It could drop below their intake, and they could be without water for a time period during the hottest time of the summer. People living in colonias and living in rural areas, they're also living kind of in the context of also agriculture, irrigated agriculture. Farmers are also pumping water to apply to their crops, and makes people who have a domestic well vulnerable.
Pecans, alfalfa, and cotton are all thirsty, heavy water use crops grown in Chamberino, a colonia in New Mexico where Patrick Marquez lives with his family. Marquez says his well runs dry for a couple weeks every year while the farmers are pumping water out of the aquifer.
Thank God to my neighbors that, I've been able to run a garden hose to give me water so at least my kids can take a shower and, we can use the facilities.
According to the 2009 Housing Assistance Council Community Report, The Marquez and Governale families are just some of the 1.5 million people living in colonies between Texas and California who depend on vulnerable water supplies.
I'm living here in the United States of America, so I'm supposed to have water.
A few years ago, Governale decided to take matters into her own hands, starting Familias Triunfadoras, a non-profit to effect change and organize residents. And she's had some success getting developers to follow through on agreements to pipe water into colonias. She's also secured housing and urban development grants to build water infrastructure.
And I said, no more. I have to do something for me, for my kids, and for the community.
But running the organization with unpaid volunteers and federal money isn't enough. There's only so much she can do. Marquez says he conserves water where he can, but he says it might be for naught if farmers aren't willing to plant more water-efficient crops. Unlike the large-scale farmers, Marquez says he can't afford to keep digging deeper wells. He says as groundwater levels fall, the burden of rising temperatures will make things worse for residents.
It is falling on the average person because, we're the ones that are going to suffer. More people need to be aware of the water situation. They need to conserve. I'd have to think of the welfare of my children.
And a 2015 NASA climate study projects Southwest water supplies will only be diminished further with an even harsher drought projected in the next 30 years. For Bulldog Broadcast, I'm Daniel Salinas.
Thanks, Daniel.
When it comes to saving lives, seconds can make the difference between life and death.
Our student body learns the importance of being CPR certified. Without CPR available, only 7% of people who go into cardiac arrest survive. Here at LCHS, we will be having CPR trainings in the spring. Mr. Torres tells us more about getting certified.
Well, I think it's important that they learn CPR. I think that would be the best thing for them to do. We're hoping to get some trainings done for the seniors, hopefully next semester, through some classes. And that way, the more people that are trained and aware about CPR, then the more lives that can be saved.
Join fellow Bulldogs and learn how to save lives by joining a CPR training this spring at Las Cruces High School. We are stronger together.
Hey Naomi, have you seen any good movies lately?
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, but our own BBCers also made their own movie. Let's check out the trailer.
We never saw it coming. One day we were on top of the world, and the next we were fighting to survive. We'd come so far to still be barely ahead of destruction.
We were on the move constantly. Tensions rose between us, but we had to be a team no matter what.
Did you guys hear that?
When we thought we were safe, we never were. They always found us. The virus is spreading, and we were next.
We thought we could outrun it, so we never stopped moving for too long, not knowing where to go next.
We never knew where the cure was, so we searched, and we searched. When we found it, they found us.
It was in our grasp, but we were already dead in the water. The virus was a killer. It murdered whatever humanity you had left. No one could have prepared us for what we had to do to survive. Those alive were just never the same in the end.
That was really exciting. I can't wait to see it.
Let's definitely go see it together, Kyla. Now it's time for a quick break. Coming up after the break.
Erin explores the story of first-generation Americans.
Afterwards, we take a look on how far our football team has come. We'll be right back, dogs.
ROTC's Toys for Tots donation is looking for new, unused, and unwrapped gifts this year. If you or anyone you know is interested in donating, look for the marked boxes around the school and donate today.
Having anxiety feels like your heart's about to come out of your chest. Having anxiety sounds like a foot tapping uncontrollably. Having anxiety looks like rush hour traffic. But you can't tell just by looking at me. Everything that's rushing through my mind. I'm not good enough. I'm a bad sister, bad daughter, bad student. Why do I even try? Do I have a purpose? I'm not good enough.
If you are suffering from anxiety, some tricks that could help you are counting to 10, taking some time away from everyone, or go online to Anxiety and Depression Association of America.
Remember this year by purchasing a yearbook. They're on sale in room V2 for $70. And don't forget, the last day to buy senior ads is February 10th, 2017. A friendship page is $10 for you and a friend saying a quote.
Welcome back, dogs. Many students and their parents crossed borders to get here today. Some even migrated over oceans.
We interviewed fellow Bulldog and his family to better understand the struggles that immigrant parents go through for a better life.
Hey there, Bulldogs. As you all know, a lot of us here in America come from different places, and transitioning can be pretty tough. We spoke to Ashley Curry, a native from South Africa, to tell us about her move here as a child.
I'm from Zimbabwe, Africa. I was 8 when we moved here. So Africa's a third world, well, Zimbabwe's a third world country, and so things don't always work, electricity doesn't always work, street lights and traffic signals and those kinds of things don't work. The government's really different. There's basically a dictator who's in charge of the country, and things were getting really bad, and we left during a civil war. So coming here and living in a place where you can go to the grocery store and buy anything you want, and you can order anything you want from Amazon.com, and it just arrives at your house. And there are just so many different things. There's so many ways that it's different. My parents live in Africa still, and my family, my aunts and uncles and cousins and everybody still lives there. So it's really nice to have family on the other side of the world and to get to go visit them. On the other side of things, it's kind of sad because we don't get to spend a lot of holidays and time with them. But I like it that my kids can know Africa and get to go there and get to know their family on, a completely different place. But I would like to be closer. I miss my family.
For Bulldog Broadcast, I'm Erin Galindo.
Thanks, Erin. Football worked very hard to get to state.
And basketball has just began their season.
Let's pass it over to Mia for another edition of Bulldog Sports.
What's up, Bulldogs? I'm Mia Tondrodonati, and you're watching Bulldog Sports. Basketball had a tournament where they played Highlands and won 70-35, and played Volcano Vista where they won 58-57. Their latest game was Tuesday where they won 78-64 against Alamogordo. Next, they have a tournament down in Artesia. Go get 'em, boys! Girls basketball also played the tournament where they beat Highlands 55-43 and Volcano Vista 49-40. The girls' latest game was in Alamogordo where they won 54-16. Next, they will also have a tournament. Go get 'em, ladies! Football played in the state championship Saturday, but heartbrokenly lost 39-17. The Dogs end their season 11-2 overall. But despite their loss, the Dogs still had many victories this season. I took a closer look to see how they overcame the obstacles that were set for them.
It's kind of surreal how fast it ended. They went out as a family. They went out with a lot of adversity starting the beginning of the year. I mean, we didn't even have power in our field house. We didn't have water in our field house. I mean, we had stickers. We had just dirt all over our field. And then practicing through that, never complaining about that, was a big sign on why we got to state.
Well, I mean, for us, we expected to do that. Everyone else doubted us. We knew what we were capable of. Our expectations was a state title. And yeah, we came up short, but we got to where we needed to get to. We proved everyone wrong. That's what we did.
I mean, state was a big thing. I mean, it's what I've been talking about since I was little. I've always wanted to play in that state game. We came up a little short, but I mean, it was still a big honor to be in that game. The state game, I mean, it was a It was a special week because the only thing that we could think about, like, man, we earned this Sunday. We knew that that was going to be our last week together, and that was the main thing that we wanted to do was finish it together. And it you know, the coins didn't fall our way, but these kids definitely went out with what they wanted to. I'm excited for the kids to fill these shoes. And it's not that they're going to be filling position shoes, just to fill the family role, fill the leadership role. So I mean, it's just going to be great to see those kids just even more adversity each year.
As a high school senior, you just can't wait to graduate. But when it comes to football, I mean, I wish I had more time with these guys. I love them a lot. Thank you guys for everything. It was a great ride. I wish I could have more time with you guys, and I love you guys.
Well, that's all I have for you this week, Bulldogs. I'm Mia Donati, and this has been Bulldog Sports.
Thanks, Mia. Before we go, our LCHS Drama Dogs would like to invite you to their winter play. Theater's putting on a production of Midsummer's Night Dream. Come see them on December 16th and 17th at 7 p.m. Tickets are $5 for students and $7 for adults. Well, that's all we have for you this semester, dogs. Once again, I'm Kyla Navarro.
And I'm Naomi S.J. Good luck on all your finals and have a warm winter break. We'll see you next year.
Okay, was that good or was that
Okay.
Then you know what?
A good one.
One more for safety.
Yeah, one more for safety.
Mark that. We're gonna win state.